Flame on the cupcake flickered against the dark kitchen window, the reflection almost mocking me. My phone buzzed again on the counter. I didn't want to look, but of course I did. Dad's message burned across the screen. "We're at your sister's dinner. Enjoy your night alone." Before we begin, drop a comment and tell us where are you from and from which city you're watching our videos. And after watching the whole video, don't forget to tell us, what would you do in this situation? Be honest. Tell me in the comments below. We read every comment. Let's begin. My chest tightened. Before I could even breathe, Mom's follow-up landed. Like a hammer. "I used your bonus for the decor. You'll understand someday." My fingers trembled, not from sadness but from rage. 29 years old, and my parents had just announced, without apology, that my birthday was less important than making my sister shine. They hadn't even bothered to hide it. I stared at the tiny candle, my voice a whisper drowned in silence. Happy birthday to me. The cupcake tasted like cardboard when I bit into it, bitterness laced with sugar. Then my phone buzzed again. This time a photo. My sister Madison, all smiles in her glittering gown, standing under an arch of flowers I knew too well. The exact flowers I had been saving for months to buy for myself. Bought with my bonus. Something snapped inside me. I typed, one word, cold, sharp, final. Sure. And I hit send. But silence wasn't going to be my gift to them this year. Not anymore. I scrolled through my phone, fingers finding the photos, the videos, the truth I'd buried to keep the peace. Madison's late-night texts, Mom's careless words when she thought I wasn't listening. Dad's drunken voicemail where he said the words that had branded my soul. You were never the one we wanted. My throat tightened, but my hand was steady as I selected them all. I opened my social feed. The cupcake flame hissed out as I whispered, let's give them something they'll never forget. And with one tap, post, their world began to shatter. The moment I hit post, my phone lit up like a wildfire. Notifications stacked in the corner of the screen so fast I could barely read them. Within minutes, my carefully hidden vault of family secrets spread like spilled gasoline across every corner of our community. The first text came from my cousin Rachel. Olivia, what did you just do? Everyone's talking about it. I ignored her. Instead, I opened the thread again, watching the likes and shares climb. My hands should have been shaking, but they weren't. For the first time in years, I wasn't the silent one. I wasn't the shadow. The screen glowed with the truth I'd carried too long. The video of Dad slurring, Madison's the golden one, Olivia's just extra baggage. The screenshots of Mom using my work bonus for my sister's endless parties. Madison's texts bragging to her friends about how I was the boring backup plan of the family. I hadn't written a single caption. The evidence spoke for itself. Then the phone rang. Dad's name lit the screen. I let it ring. Another call. This time, Mom. Decline. A third. Madison. Her voice message came through almost instantly after I ignored it. Olivia, take it down right now. Do you know what you've done? You've ruined everything. I laughed bitterly. Ruined everything? They'd ruined me for years, and no one cared. Tonight was the first time their perfect masks cracked. But the fallout didn't stop at messages. A friend from work, Jordan, texted me a screenshot. My post was already trending locally. Neighbors, co-workers, even people from high school were chiming in. Comment after comment poured in. She deserves better. Finally, the truth comes out. Always knew Madison wasn't what she pretended to be. The cupcake on the counter sat untouched now, wax dripping onto the plate. My birthday flame had gone out, but I had lit another kind of fire, one that was consuming the Carters. I paced the kitchen, my phone buzzing nonstop, until a new message froze me in place. It was from Dad. "Come to the restaurant now, we need to talk." The same restaurant where they were celebrating Madison's big night. My stomach twisted. Part of me wanted to block him, to stay home and let them stew. But another part, the one that had swallowed humiliation for decades, wanted to walk into that dining room and watch them choke on their own words. I grabbed my coat. When I arrived, the parking lot shimmered with expensive cars. Laughter spilled through the glass doors, the kind of laughter that once made me ache for inclusion. Tonight, it sounded hollow. The hostess's smile faltered when she saw me. She glanced toward the dining area, then back at me, whispering, "They're waiting." I stepped inside. The entire Carter clan sat around a massive table draped in white linen. Madison glittered under the soft lights in a sequined gown. Mom's pearls gleamed, Dad's whiskey glass half full. But the room had shifted. Whispers, stares, stiff postures. Every relative's phone sat face up, screens glowing with my post. Dad was the first to speak. His voice carried the same authority it always had, but the cracks showed now. "Olivia." "Sit?" I didn't. I stayed standing, every eye on me. Madison's voice broke the tension, shrill and panicked. "You've embarrassed us in front of everyone. Sponsors, family, friends. Do you even understand what you've done?" I met her gaze, unflinching. I told the truth. Mom leaned forward, her voice dripping venom. "You think this makes you powerful? It makes you pathetic. You've dragged your own family through the mud. On your birthday, no less." A bitter laugh escaped me. "Funny. I thought using my bonus for your daughter's party decor was pathetic. Guess perspective matters." Gasps rippled around the table. Even a few relatives who had always stayed silent shifted uncomfortably. Dad slammed his glass down, liquid splashing across the white cloth. "You will delete that post, tonight, or you're no daughter of mine." My chest rose and fell, anger threatening to spill, but I kept my voice steady. "Maybe that's the first honest thing you've said to me in years." The silence that followed was deafening. Somewhere near the end of the table, Aunt Valerie muttered, "She's right. Enough's enough, Robert." Madison shot her a glare, but it was too late. The room was cracking open. I stepped back, my heart pounding but my resolve solid. "You wanted me to spend tonight alone. Instead, you're the ones exposed. Enjoy your dinner." And before any of them could speak, I turned on my heel and walked out, the weight of years lifting with each step. The night air outside was cold, sharp against my skin, but it felt cleaner than the suffocating air inside that restaurant. For once I didn't feel invisible. For once, it was their turn to burn. By the next morning, my phone was a battlefield. Dozens of missed calls, hundreds of notifications. My name wasn't just in whispers anymore. It was plastered across group chats, tagged in local community boards, even creeping into workplace. Gossip. I sat on the edge of my bed, scrolling through the storm I had unleashed. Some comments praised me. "She's braver than I could ever be." Family or not, abuse is abuse. Others were harsher, judging me without knowing the years. I'd endured, "Air your dirty laundry in private." Attention seeker. But for once their opinions didn't pierce me, because one thing was clear, silence was no longer my role. At noon, Jordan from work called. He was one of the few colleagues I trusted. "Liv, your post's everywhere. Management saw it. Don't worry, no one's blaming you. In fact—" He hesitated. "Some higher-ups are talking about how strong you were for speaking up. They're calling you courageous." The word startled me. Courageous. No one had ever used that for me, but courage came at a cost. Not even an hour later, Dad's number flashed across my screen again. "This time?" I answered. His voice was gravel, strained from anger. "You've destroyed this family's reputation, Olivia. Do you even realize who's been calling me all morning? Business partners, old friends. They don't want to be associated with us. I let his words hang, then replied quietly, "Funny. I didn't hear you worried about my reputation when you called me baggage." His silence was long, bitter. Then he snapped, "You're coming here, now." But I didn't go. Instead, I turned on the newsfeed on my laptop and froze. There she was, Madison, my sister, radiant but crumbling, caught by a reporter's camera as she tried to leave a boutique. Microphones shoved in her face. The headline scrolled across the screen. "Local family under fire after daughter's explosive revelations online." She stammered through a forced smile. "This is just family drama. It's being exaggerated. My sister's emotional." The clip cut off before she could finish, but the comments below were merciless. People weren't buying her charm anymore. I leaned back, my heart racing. The Golden Girl's shine was fading. By evening, I received an email from someone unexpected, my Aunt Valerie, the same one who had dared to speak up at dinner. Her subject line was simple: "I'm proud of you." Her message made my throat ache. "Olivia, I stayed quiet for years because I thought protecting the family name was more important than the truth. I was wrong. Don't back down. Don't let them silence you. If you ever need a place to stay, my door's open." I wiped my eyes, both stunned and relieved. For the first time, someone from the Carter family was in my corner, but the night held another surprise. My phone buzzed with a notification, a private message request. It was from a journalist. "Olivia, I know this is sudden, but your story matters. If you're willing, I'd like to hear your side. You're not the villain they're painting you to be." I stared at the screen, pulse pounding. Me, the forgotten daughter, the invisible shadow, now being asked to speak publicly. My hands hovered over the keyboard. Fear clawed at me. What if I wasn't strong enough? What if this only made things worse? Then I remembered Madison's glittering smile, Dad's slurred words, Mom's smug text about using my bonus. And I typed, "I'll talk." The interview happened the next day, discreet but sharp. I didn't exaggerate, didn't lie. I simply told the truth. Years of favoritism, neglect, and open humiliation. The reporter's eyes widened more than once, and when we wrapped, she said softly, "People will see you differently now." When the article dropped, the reaction was immediate. Friends I hadn't spoken to in years reached out. Coworkers sent supportive messages. Strangers commented, saying my words gave them courage to face their own families, but not everyone celebrated. That evening, Madison stormed into my apartment. She didn't knock, just barged in, eyes blazing. "You've ruined me, Olivia. Do you understand that? Sponsors are pulling out of my event next month because of your stupid post." I stood, my back stiff, but my voice calm. "No, Madison. You ruined yourself when you built your life on lies and my sacrifice." Her jaw tightened. For once, she had no comeback. She spun on her heel, muttering, "You'll regret this." But as the door slammed, I realized something. For the first time in my life, she sounded afraid of me. And that was a power I never thought I'd hold. I blew out the candle on another cupcake that night, alone again. But this time, my whisper carried strength instead of sorrow. "Happy birthday, Olivia." And for the first time, I believed I deserved it. The article spread faster than I expected. Within 48 hours, my name was on every local feed. My phone became a lifeline, buzzing with strangers thanking me for speaking out. But the true storm hit the Carter family. Dad's law firm quietly pulled his name from their front page. Mom's social club released a statement distancing themselves. And Madison? Her carefully curated brand sponsorships evaporated almost overnight. One by one, companies backed away, her inbox filling with words she had never heard before. Not a good fit. For years, they had painted me as the quiet one, the extra baggage. Now, I was the name on everyone's lips. That Sunday, I received a call I didn't expect, from Grandma Ruth. She was 90 but sharp as a knife, and she rarely involved herself in family drama. Her voice was steady, unshaken by all the noise. "Olivia, I saw the news. I want you to come to the house tomorrow, alone." Her tone wasn't a request. I arrived at her place the next afternoon. The old farmhouse smelled of lavender and wood polish, everything exactly as it had been since I was a child. Grandma sat in her rocker by the window, her silver hair pinned neatly, her cane leaning nearby. She studied me with eyes that had seen more than any of us could fathom. "You did what your parents never had the courage to do," she said finally. "You told the truth." I swallowed hard. I didn't mean to embarrass the family. "Embarrass?" She cut me off, her voice sharp. "No, you exposed them, and maybe it was long overdue." She leaned forward, her hands trembling slightly but her words steady. "I've watched your father dismiss you, your mother undermine you, and your sister overshadow you." I said nothing. That was my mistake, but not anymore. From under the table, she pulled out a small envelope, worn and yellowed at the edges. She placed it into my hands. "This was meant for you after I passed, but I think you need it now." Confused, I opened it. Inside was a legal document, her will. My breath caught as I scanned the words. Everything. The farmhouse. The land, her savings, all of it, left to me. Tears blurred my vision. "Grandma, why?" Her smile was sad, but knowing. "Because you've been treated like you had nothing your whole life, and because I trust you to build something better. With it. Don't waste this chance, Olivia. Be the woman they never thought you could be." I hugged her tightly, my body trembling with both relief and disbelief. For the first time in years, someone had chosen me. But the news didn't stay private for long. When my parents found out, their fury came swift. Mom called, her voice shrill and desperate. "You manipulated her. You poisoned her against us." I answered calmly, "No." She saw the truth long before I ever spoke it. Dad tried to roar over me, but his voice cracked with something I'd never heard before. Fear. "You think this makes you better than us? You'll regret crossing me. Olivia." I didn't flinch. "I don't regret anything." And I hung up. The weeks that followed were surreal. Madison's social life crumbled, her so-called friends vanishing when the money dried up. Dad's reputation took hit after hit, his arrogant voice quieter each time he left me a message. And Mom? Her once perfect social circles now whispered behind her back. Meanwhile, I poured myself into something new. With Grandma's support and her inheritance, I started planning a nonprofit for young women overlooked by their families. The forgotten daughters, just like me. At night when doubt crept in, I'd scroll back to the post that had started it all. The candle flame, the single word. Sure. That one word had torn open the lies and rebuilt me from the ground up. 3 months later, I stood at a small gathering for the launch of my nonprofit. A modest event, nothing glamorous, but every chair was filled. Aunt Valerie was there, Jordan from work, even a few people who had reached out after reading my story. I stood at the podium, my voice steady despite the lump in my throat. For years I believed silence was survival, but silence only chained me to pain. Speaking the truth broke those chains. And if my story has taught me anything, it's that every forgotten daughter has a voice worth hearing. The applause that followed wasn't deafening. It was healing. That night, as I blew out a candle on a simple cake the volunteers had surprised me with, I closed my eyes and made a wish. Not for revenge. Not for more exposure. But for freedom. When I opened my eyes, the room was filled with light, laughter, and the kind of family I had always dreamed of. One chosen, not forced. For once, I didn't feel alone. And I realized my parents hadn't ruined me. They had, without meaning to, given me the gift of becoming stronger than they ever imagined. The girl they tried to silence had become the woman who spoke loud enough for the world to hear.